Of the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade, one trigger law state is taking its abortion ban to the internet. Today, South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem announcing the state will ban telemedicine appointments with abortion care providers who prescribe pills online. She says she brought a bill forward to block women from getting abortion pills online and through the mail. South Dakota's law bans abortion except in the case of saving a mother's life and makes it a felony to perform the procedure. And although the abortion ruling is the one reverberating around the country, it wasn't the only case the Supreme Court took up. Joining us now to examine how the ruling could affect other precedents and the other cases the court just ruled on is Julia Manchester, national politics reporter with The Hill. Julia, good to see you as always. So, of course, we've all been paying attention to the abortion ruling, right? But does it open the door to other cases? It seems Justice Alito wants to keep the ruling focused narrowly on abortion, while Justice Thomas suggested the ruling could open the door to overturn other decisions, specifically same-sex marriage and contraception.
Exactly, Rutabaga. That's what we're all talking about today in terms of what precedents this sets going forward, in terms of what Justice Thomas said last Friday. He's talking about same-sex marriage, contraception, those kinds of rulings. And we did hear some rumblings before this decision was announced from abortion rights advocates saying, look, this decision, assuming it was going to overturn Roe v. Wade, could impact the other past decisions. So it's interesting to hear Justice Thomas really going that far in his remarks. And I think you're going to see a lot of Democrats really start to seize on those remarks in their political rhetoric as well.
And another major case, the Supreme Court also deciding on this gun case, striking down a New York gun law from more than a century ago, and it deals with carrying a concealed handgun outside the home. Tell us about that and how that could play out around the country.
Right. So this essentially is about conceal and carry outside of the home, like you said, and it could very well play out in a number of different states around the country. It's essentially the Supreme Court once again, getting involved in these individual states. And this obviously has to do with firearms. The ruling came as the landmark bipartisan gun legislation was passed through the Senate. So it definitely impacts gun control as we know it. But it's so interesting to see the Supreme Court. I mean, I think this past week, Rutabaga, just looking back at the decisions, it just shows really how President Trump's legacy is playing out on the Supreme Court with these really conservative leaning decisions on major cultural topics, gun control or gun rights, and obviously abortion access. So, this is the legacy of Donald Trump that we're seeing playing out.
No doubt. What other cases are you watching for that might come down this coming week?
I think there's a number of different cases coming down this week that we'll have to watch out for in particular. Covering national politics, I'm not really involved in the realm of the Supreme Court, but we'll be watching for the cultural issues, really, and how the Supreme Court continues to rule on those issues, privacy rights, that kind of a thing. But I think going forward, a lot of us will be watching really the fallout over Roe v. Wade and the overturning of that decision. I think this is going to be in the headlines for the weeks to come, and we'll see how long it stays and really how much this impacts the election.
And as a politics reporter, how will it affect the midterms? Does it change the calculus for anyone running?
Well, I think right now, Democrats are very much trying to use this to galvanize their own voting bases. We saw President Biden and Nancy Pelosi and Kamala Harris on Friday say that this is on the ballot. This issue would very much be on the ballot. And I think they'll also try to get more independent or swing voters on this issue, referring to Republicans as extremists. Now, how Republicans address this issue, that's a wider question, because we know Republicans have been very, very laser focused on inflation, border, and the crime. Abortion access doesn't necessarily fit into their messaging. We know most Republicans have praised this, but it's not necessarily an issue that I, kind of gather from talking to Republicans that they really want to be talking about right now. So I think what you're going to see is Democrats try to put Republicans on the defense when it comes to abortion.
All right, Julia Manchester, we will be, of course, following all of this closely. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.